was Republican Congressman Mike Lawler from New York. He's on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and chaired the subcommittee on the Middle East and North Africa. Congressman, great to have you on the show. So what did you learn in the briefing, and do you have any more clarity on strategic goals and how we will know that those goals have been met?
Well, thanks for having me, Elizabeth. Obviously, I have to be relatively circumspect about what I say just because it was a classified brief. But the fact is, as Secretary Rubio has pointed out, the focus of this operation is not only to ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, and obviously they have made efforts to start rebuilding that post last summer's attack. But moreover, that we eliminate the threat from their ballistic missiles program, which, they have been building up and stockpiling. And so, the objective here is to completely eliminate that threat. You've seen, much of the leadership of the IRGC, the clerics, and the political leadership eliminated in short order. Obviously, there are efforts to reestablish control, but we will see in the coming days and weeks, what steps are taken to, again, eliminate the threat being posed. Iran was not negotiating in good faith, period. They were not negotiating over issues that we all know had to be addressed, from their ballistic missiles program to their financing of terrorism, to the nuclear, ambitions. And ultimately, the decision was made to end this threat and this reign of terror that has existed for 47 years.
The president and the Secretary of State both said today that Iran was going to imminently attack Americans. Did they explain why they thought that? Did they show you intelligence that proved that?
Yes, they did offer an explanation, and to the degree that they could share certain intelligence, they did. Obviously, in that setting with all members of the House, not everybody has certain, clearances, so they couldn't share everything. But I am comfortable with the decision that the administration made. They also addressed, the concerns that many of my Democratic colleagues have now raised over the War Powers Act and War Powers Resolution, seemingly having amnesia over their previous position on this when Barack Obama engaged in a 7-month campaign in Libya. And Nancy Pelosi was in full support and said that he did not need congressional authorization. The fact is that this was a legal strike that the president ordered, and he is fully within compliance of the War Powers Act. And frankly, Elizabeth, I think any War Powers resolution that is being brought forward by the Democrats that calls for the immediate withdrawal is not only dangerous, it would actually undermine our national security and put our troops in harm's way.
In his legally mandated notice to Congress, President Trump said the attack on Iran was, quote, in self-defense of our allies, including Israel. Do you think Americans support having their sons and their daughter? We know one of the victims who was identified today as one of the casualties was a woman. Are Americans really willing to have their troops fight and die in defense of Israel?
Well, first of all, this is far bigger than in defense of Israel. This is in defense of the United States' national security interests. There's a reason we have military bases throughout the Middle East. And you saw Iran strike at Arab states, and not only military sites, but civilian infrastructure. And that is something that I think our allies throughout the region are going to address, hopefully proactively, not just from a defensive posture. But this is not just about Israel. The fact is, Iran is the greatest state sponsor of terror. They are responsible for the deaths of thousands of Americans going back to 1979, and inclusive of Hamas's terror attacks on October 7th. And so I think the fundamental point here, without getting too deep into the classified brief, there was a threat posed. There was a real challenge that was at hand that needed to be addressed. And the administration has very clear objectives, and they are executing on those objectives in a timely manner, in compliance with the War Powers Act. And I, for one, am in support.
Okay, so just to put a button on it, you are fully satisfied after this briefing that Iran was about to attack U.S. troops in the Middle East on its own, not in response to an attack from Israel. Like, all on its own, Iran was going to do a preemptive attack against our troops.
Look, I am comfortable with the intelligence that was offered. I am comfortable with the information the administration provided. The fundamental fact is that Iran was not negotiating in good faith. They were trying to rebuild rather quickly their ambitions, and their ballistic missiles are an immediate threat to our troops and to our allies in the region. And so the decision was ultimately made after Iran's unwillingness to actually negotiate in good faith.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.